How will governmental chaos affect the stock market? By www.options-trading-education.com. Chaos rules in Washington. On heels of the Obamacare repeal debacle, the Trump White House is going to open the White House Office of American Innovation run by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. This will be yet another power center competing for the ever shorter attention span of the chief executive. We caught a glimpse of the governmental chaos that is the Trump presidency and Republican-controlled Congress, with the failure to come together with a solid replacement for the Affordable Care Act and to pass it. But the issue is really not Obamacare. It is a combination of two things. The first is Trump's attempt to apply his selective approach to business to governing. The second is the popular back-home throw-the-rascals-out approach of the conservative wing of the Republican Party. Here is a mixture of schoolyard bullies and know-it-alls holding the keys to power. How will the ensuing governmental chaos affect the stock market? The Washington Post looks at the Office of American Innovation and says Kushner's project is doomed. Kushner's time might be better spent teaching his father-in-law how government cannot be run like a business. As Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York, put it on Sunday, "You cannot run the presidency like you run a real estate deal. You can't tweet your way through it. You can't threaten and intimidate and say, 'I'll walk away.' It's more complicated." He might have added, "You cannot run the presidency by hiring inexperienced relatives and political propagandists with no governing skill. You cannot run government without transparency and accountability. This is not a family real estate operation. You cannot run government with the attention span of a 3-year-old, unable to be bothered with details or stick with one topic for very long. You cannot run government by intimidation and insult. Governing is an activity involving persuasion and conciliation. And you obviously cannot run the White House, as Trump is trying to, with overlapping and conflicting power centers, including Kushner's SWAT team, that undermine the authority of cabinet secretaries. All of this sounds like a bad dream, but it is real and is already affecting the markets. The first thought was the correct one. When it became clear on election night that Trump was going to be president, the market tanked. Then wishful thinking set in, and investors told themselves that all of the Trump's talk of cutting taxes, bringing U.S. corporate cash back to the USA, and fixing infrastructure was going to drive the U.S. economy and the stock market to new heights. In the wake of the Obamacare repeal debacle, the market is starting to fade. How bad could that get? MarketWatch says that the Trump trade is turning into the Trump disappointment trade. Markets worldwide are starting off the week spooked by Republican-controlled Washington's failure to repeal and replace Obamacare. That has dented confidence in President Donald Trump's ability to muster enough political support to deliver on his promises of reform, seen as helping drive the recent rally for equities. The markets are having their own Trump tantrum, as investors seriously doubt whether the president's abrasive style will work in Washington, said Kathleen Brooks, research director at City Index, in a note. The market's first take on Trump was correct. He has too often succeeded in life at the expense of others. He is not a coalition builder and not a detail guy. The Donald does not share. And all of this spells chaos for government and down times for the market. This, in the end, is a good time to use options to protect your portfolio and to profit from the likelihood of repeated slides in the market as more bad news arrives. For more insights and useful information about options trading, visit www.options-trading-education.com.